Hello everybody, this is T with Kate's Crafty Closet, and today we have a nice, clean and simple and easy to make thank you card. So let's go ahead and get ourselves started. So the first thing I went ahead and did is I cut down a A2 size card base, which means that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This is just a regular side folding card, and I went ahead and die cut inserts for the inside. This is just a stitch frame die, and I went ahead and cut out a few of those for the front and the back and the inside of the card. So we're going to need this one now because we're going to come in with this Tiara Catherine Pooler ink. I got a stamp set from Tim Holtz. This is from Skulls and Cobwebs. So I'm going to go ahead, it's like a tapestry looking stamp set on it. So we're just going to go ahead and ink that up. This is just a Fiskars stamp press, easy to use for this one. So we're just going to get good coverage with this ink. And these are pretty juicy and pretty good inks because they're foam, not felt. So I'm going to put this on here. And I like that that just sits on top of here, so I can do that. Then I'm just going to press down and go ahead and just press on it. And we should, no matter what it was, I'm okay with how it turns out and how it looks. So there we go. So we got that. Then we can come in with our card base and use my little handy dandy pokey tool. I already pre-put some double-sided adhesive on here. You can use liquid glue like your art glitter glue if you want to. I'm just using this today. I kind of do these ahead of time so I don't have to do those while I'm making the card. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the best that I can to center this up. I am not the greatest at that, and I do not stress that out. So there we go. And the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is, I'm hoping I can find it. There it is. This is a 2 1/2 inch square. Okay. And we're going to come in with the handy dandy, whoop, excuse me, knocked over my glue gun because it's usually on the other side of me. Fiskars paper crimper. And we're just going to crimp that 2 1/2 inch square. And we're going to go ahead and put some foam squares on here just to give it a little bit of dimension. It's like I've been having that paper crimper for a long time, and I think I never use it. So I was like, might as well bring it out, use it. Really good to add some texture to your projects because you can do it on just about anything as long as it fits within in that crimper. You can do that. All right. So I'm going to do my best just to center this, but I'm not really going to center it because I need a little room on the bottom for my sentiment. So I'm going to put it there. Okay. And the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is, like, I die cut this larger flower and then a smaller one. Don't know where these dies come from. They were sitting in a file folder and a magnetic sheet, and I can probably having those for Lord knows how long. So I cut out one, the larger one in white, and then the smaller one in a different type of yellow, like a lighter color watercolor yellow. So with that, I'm going to crimp the small yellow one. Okay, there we go. Then I'm going to come in with some art glitter glue. Like I said, any kind of liquid adhesive will do. And I'm going to put, that's way too much glue on that. So I'm going to swipe it off, and because otherwise it'll ooze everywhere. We don't want to do that. And I'm going to do my best to center this onto that white piece. Okay. And then I cut up a 1/2 square of that foam tape just so we can give that a little bit of dimension. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and put that onto in the center of this as well. Okay, perfect. And then the next thing we're going to do is make sure we put our top back onto our art glitter glue. Otherwise, we're going to be having a time and a half putting that back on. Okay. All right, the next thing I went ahead and did is this. This is just a piece of twine that I had in my stash. You can use whatever you want. And I'm going to use just a dab of hot glue in there. And I'll do the best of my abilities to link things that I use in this video. If I can't find them, I'll do my best to give you alternatives if you do not have stuff like this in your stash. Okay. And then we're going to come in with a white button. So that means we're just going to put a little bit more glue on top of this. We don't want to put too much because we don't want it to ooze out too much in those holes on that button. You can use a liquid glue if you want to, totally 100% up to you. So that part is done. And we're going to come in with a, I'm going to heat emboss our sentiment. So we're going to come in with some more of like that yellow paper. And then we're going to use this thank you stamp set from Hero Arts, a little wood block. Any kind of thank you or any kind of sentiment you want to put on there, that is completely up to you. We're going to come in with some Versamark ink for embossing. And I'm just going to ink that up. Close that. And then we're going to stamp it. There we go. Then we're going to come in with some embossing powder. This is liquid platinum from Ranger. I always tap it just so there's no in the lid that will come out and fall all over the place. And come in with a scrap sheet of paper. I'm just going to pour a little bit of that on. You know, if you live in a high humidity area like I do in Florida, stuff sticks everywhere. So I try to, if I remember, to run my cardstock through my laminating tool, or if you have a mink tool, just to kind of get moisture. Or even if you have a Cricut easy press and stuff like that, that helps with the moisture. Not 100%, but it does help. So because I have stragglers on here, I'm going to go ahead and use just a paintbrush or what have you and do the best that I can. A pencil's not going to work, Tony. This is the only paintbrush I got. It's a big one, but that's okay. So we're just going to do our best to grab that and pull it away. Some of it pulled off my Y, so good thing about that is usually ink stays wet long enough for us to go back and fix that, which is awesome. Okay. Like, this is my go-to gold embossing powder that I use quite a bit. Okay. Then we're going to come in again and try not to mess up our sentiment. And see, we did that again. Yeah, I need a smaller brush. Yeah, I can leave my errors in here in these videos. I don't edit them out. Okay, there we go. Let's try this for the third time, and I keep knocking over that glue gun, which is okay. I'm just gonna leave it falling over like that. All right, I'm not gonna close that up. I'm just gonna push it to the side because evidently I'm gonna need it again. Okay. Okay, and of course, it's just determined not to work for me, y'all. It's just determined. I'll just try to knock, there we go. I think we're gonna be good this time around. What the fourth time is always the charm. And in my case, sometimes it's even more than that. So don't never be afraid to make errors. So we're gonna come in with our heat tool. Okay. And heat it up a little bit before we go to the paper. And this should be like magic. should melt in no time flat once it's heated. You can always tell when your embossing powder, it melts, it gets shiny on you, okay? Okay, then I have this little die. This is like a little sentiment strip die stitch one that I probably picked up from MFT quite some time ago. And we're just gonna put it on there, line it up as best I can. I'm gonna use this. This is some Scotch repositional tape. We do have some of that in the store. This is, I've never had it tear paper on me. And I've used it on watercolor paper, all kinds of copy paper and everything. This is just so it stays put. And for the magic of television, boom, we have our sentiment strip. And I went ahead and put some of these foam squares on there. These are smaller ones. And we're just gonna go ahead and pull off our release paper. And this will finish up. This is the last piece for our card. It's like, and then you can use different colors. Like I said, I'm just using yellow, just using stuff that I have in my stash. I find that the Catherine Pooley inks work really well, and the pigment inks work really well with the background stamp. So I'm doing my best to line up that sentiment, and boom. There we go. And that is our card for today. I want to thank you all for joining me. Make sure you check out the store at katescraftedcloset.com. And here's a coupon code SAVE and the number 5 to give you $5 off of your order of $25 or more. And thank you very much again. And y'all have a crafty day, y'all.